Now, the fact that I'm even making a video on this is kind of sad because I would assume most people won't understand what it means to have a next-gen console. But apparently, none of y'all don't understand what it means to have a next-gen console because according to most people, if the system isn't futuristic looking, or if the controller isn't brand new looking, or if the user interface isn't flashy enough, then it's not considered a next-gen console. And to me, that's really fucking stupid because obviously, the whole point of a next-gen console is to see the improvement of performance in the video games that you play. And this is coming from the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X reviews that I've been seeing. More so the Xbox Series X reviews, because most of the reviews that I've seen on the Xbox, every time someone has been giving it a negative review or something, in most cases it's because it's a boring looking console, it's not flashy enough, it doesn't make it feel like a next gen, the user interface is the same thing. Like, bro, like, that's not the whole point of a next gen console. Like, does the fucking console play the games the way that it needs to be played? Yes or no? Like, does the frames play good? Does the games look good? Like, fuck what the system looks like, because I'm pretty sure we all can agree that the PlayStation 5 is the more futuristic looking console, but in all cases the looks doesn't always translate to the, you know, the end result or the quality. Like, looks doesn't equal quality, my nigga. Like, if you play something that looks dull and it plays great, then why the fuck does it matter how it looks? Like, at the end of the day, it's achieving what you want from the fucking console, which is the quality of play. So for those out there who say, oh, I don't really like this console because it doesn't make me feel like it's next gen, like the user interface is boring, the controller is boring, everything about the console is boring, just sit back and ask yourself, are you really even a gamer? Do you really like games like that? Or do you like the aesthetic of video games? Like, do you like the look of just being a gamer? Because it's mad people I know that likes fucking video games. Like, they'll buy all the consoles, all the wallpapers and action figures and all this other shit just to say they have it, but they'll never really play with the shit. Like, the whole image of being a video gamer is pretty cool. Don't get me wrong. Like, it's cool as fuck. But in most cases, I'm really starting to think that none of y'all niggas is really gamers because the shit that y'all say. Like, y'all shouldn't play a video game because of how it looks, all right? You should play it for the video games and the performance of the video games, all right? Never in my fucking life, my whole fucking 25 years of living, that I ever heard anyone say that I didn't fuck with the Nintendo Switch because the Nintendo Switch is too big and it looks like a fucking tablet, or I never heard of any of this shit a day in my life. Like, it sounds like nitpicking bullshit, but then again, I could just be overreacting because at the end of the day, most of y'all niggas is just saying shit just to get reviews and to add revenue. So I might just be overreacting, but in all seriousness, like, the way that a console looks determines on how much you like the console is really fucking stupid, man. You should never buy a console based off of how it looks, but as of how it plays, all right? Now, the whole thing about the exclusives, that's a whole nother thing. And then about this whole Xbox not having games thing, like, does Xbox have any console exclusives? No, it doesn't. But do they have video games? Yes, a shit ton of video games. They not only have backwards compatibility, but they also have third-party games like fucking Assassin's Creed, you know, Valhalla and etc., Call of Duty, Cold War, and all that other shit, right? They have those games, and on top of that, it's a powerful console producing those games. Or, you know what I'm trying to say, like, it's a powerful ass console that's playing these games, and it's probably playing them at a good ass frame rate and a good ass resolution, and etc. Like, you can't just base consoles off of how they look. I hate that I even have to keep saying that in the video, but I have to because that's the point of the video. All right, don't look at something and say, hey, this is gonna perform like shit because of the way it looks. Like, it goes back to the saying, don't judge a book by its fucking cover, all right? So for those out there who didn't manage to get themselves a PlayStation 5 or Xbox Series X, before you actually go out and get you one whenever you have the opportunity to, just sit back and ask yourself, like, am I getting this console because I want to improve the performance of my video games? Or am I buying this because I just want to have it and tell my friends and all my other buddies and family members that I have it? Like, what are you buying this console for? Like, what is the point of you buying the next gen console? All right, because if you buy the next gen console and then the next thing that come out your mouth is, oh, it doesn't feel like it's next gen, then you kind of played yourself, because you have multiple resources out here that tells you whether or not you should go out here and get you a next gen console, or if the next gen console thing is for you. You know what I'm saying? Now, at some point, you might be forced to have to buy it, because that's usually how it goes with consoles. Like every year and a half or so, they stop making games for the last gen consoles. But in this case, I highly doubt they'll do that because of the whole pandemic, and they understand that people aren't able to get themselves next gen consoles right now. But seriously, before you go out and get you a next gen console, ask yourself, hey, is it even worth it? Like, is this $500 even worth it, my nigga? Like, do I really care about games that much to improve this quality? Like, and that goes for anything, really. Like, it goes for TVs, it goes for, you know, everything else pretty much in life. Like, don't boost up the quality of things if you necessarily don't need to, or if that's just not something you value. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're good with what you have, then you good with what you have. Don't get some shit that you really don't need. Especially when you take into account that all of the new games that's coming out now for new gen are also coming out for last gen as well. So take these things into consideration before you spend $545 on a PS5 or Xbox Series X. Or in this case, due to all the scalpers, $900 to $1,000 on the PS5 or Xbox Series X. Now, there really isn't anything I have to say about Nintendo, because they're Nintendo. I mean, I'm pretty sure whatever they come out with, we're gonna flock right to that shit, because, I mean, who doesn't love Nintendo, right? You pretty much have to have no soul to not like Nintendo. And pretty much no matter what you pick, you know, whether it's the Xbox or the PlayStation or even PC, I'm pretty sure a Nintendo console will always be like the second console to whatever you get between those three, you know? So yeah, man, that's pretty much all I really want to talk about in this video. Just get my 2 cents on, you know, what it really means to have a next gen console, and what's the point of going to get a next gen console. You know, instead of all these stupid ass people out here saying that the Xbox doesn't look next gen enough for them. Like, it's some of the most idiocy shit that I ever heard in my life. But anyway, if you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe. I very much appreciate it. It's your boy Trigger Senpai, and I'm out, man. Peace.